but most importantly, congratulations to you. You're about to find out that you made the best decision in your young lives by choosing to attend this place I have known as home for now my third year. Now in my time here, and with little help from Google, I have learned a lot of things, and I want to share 5 of these things I feel will make your stay here a little easier and a little more enjoyable. Number 1, call your mother. She will worry about you every day for a while, and it will make her happy if you just call. Just make sure there are no screaming people or loud music in the background. Number 2, do laundry weekly. It may sound obvious, but when you find yourself down in clean underwear, you'll think of this advice and be like, man, I bet he has on clean underwear right now. Number 3, try something new. Whether it be a new club or picking up a basketball for the first time, and trust me, Coach Dale, Dr. J, and Dr. B can testify, I still don't know what I'm doing. Try it. It's better to have tried something and not liked it, rather than regret it in your last days of being a senior here at the school. Number 4, get sleep. I know it may sound impossible, but it can be done, trust me. Don't wait till the last minute to do an assignment or start a paper. Start them right when you're assigned. And not only will you get more sleep, but you'll get a better grade because you have spent more time and more effort on it. But lastly, and most importantly, remember why you are here and embrace it. Embrace this community of learning. Embrace the chances, unique courses, and opportunities that this school has to offer. Embrace the opportunity to live with your friends 24/7. Embrace the fact that you can seek help from almost anybody at the school. Embrace the fact that you aren't necessarily the smartest person for once, and I learned that real quick when I got here. Embrace the friendships, relationships, connections, and family that you make here. Embrace it. This school has graduated people that now are all over the world following their dreams, in part because of what the school has to offer. Like the alma mater says, challenge undaunted and standing tall, we rise and conquer, give our all. Within your walls and strengths are found, where heart and mind are bound, as eagles soaring proudly rule over you, Louisiana School. Thank you, drive home safely, have a great year, and I wish you well on your way to graduating from this great living and learning community.
Thank you, Alex. Welcome to family, friends, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, to this, the 2013 matriculation ceremony for the Louisiana School for Math, Science, and the Arts. And we welcome the new seniors, the new juniors, and the sophomores. You've been here now for about 14 days, and I hope that as you spend the anticipated and well-deserved weekend at home resting and being with your family and friends, that you can reflect on how you've become already in just 2 weeks a part of this community. I hope you're becoming aware of what can happen when you flex your talent and you flex your ability, when you expand your capacity to study, to work, to learn, and when you grow in a diverse, living, learning community with equally motivated peers and equally able fellow students. You're going to reap the results of the choices that you make. And I also will refer to our wonderful alma mater, which states that you will know what it is to soar with the eagles. In this ceremony, we celebrate the accomplishments that have brought you to this place. We are here formally to recognize you and to underscore the commitment of the faculty, the staff, and the administration to helping you achieve your potential and ultimately to graduate from LSMSA. We have several guests joining us today, and it's my privilege to introduce them to you. Both longtime friends of LSMSA, former representative and now currently the parish president for Natchitoches, Mr. Rick Nowlin. Thank you for being here today. Over the past several years, the school has been so fortunate to have as its local senator someone who has gained the support and the recognition in Baton Rouge, both from the administration and from his fellow senators and legislators. And I'm deeply honored to have as a friend and to introduce to you as our senator, who will make the introduction to our keynote speaker. So I'm going to welcome Senator Gerald Long to the platform.
Good afternoon and welcome to Natchitoches for you who are here. Perhaps you've wondered, what in the world am I doing leaving my daughter or my son this far away from home? Well, I want to assure you, you've left them in very competent hands. The Louisiana School has been a part of the Natchitoches community for many years. I stand here today and tell you that it was because of the foresight and the recognition of those who have been our leaders in the past that today the Louisiana School is recognized as the premier school in the state of Louisiana. I'm very happy to tell you that as a part of the Long family and having served as a state senator for 2 terms, our roots go back very deeply to the Louisiana School, where years ago my brother, who was serving as state representative at the time, authored and created legislation that created the Louisiana School. So we have a very vested interest in the future of the Louisiana School. In a few moments, you'll hear from our Commissioner of Administration, Christy Nichols, who will share with you some very exciting news that we have worked diligently with the administration. And you're going to be extremely pleased with some of the things that she will share with you, but in particular, she will share with you some wonderful news about the future of our school. I'm honored to introduce Christy Nichols to you. When I was first elected to the Senate, at the same time, President Allen, who is the president of the Natchitoches Parish government, we both began to realize that it would be extremely important that we connect with people who had a heart and a passion for education. I immediately had the privilege of getting to know Christy Nichols. She has served in the Jindal administration in several capacities. But in every capacity that she has served in, every time I have gone to her, she has been open and receptive. And in particular, as we dealt with issues for the Louisiana School, several years ago, I called to her attention what I thought was a fallacy in regards to how this school was funded. We use a state formula called MFP, Minimum Foundation, but we were underfunded at this school. I went to Christy Nichols, and we went to the governor, and we worked with him to bring about equal funding for the Louisiana School. That's the kind of leader we have in Christy Nichols. That is the kind of friend we have. But even more important is her background of education. She attended a talented and gifted high school in Memphis, Tennessee, where she graduated, and then went to the University of Tennessee for her undergraduate studies. She also has a master's degree from the University of Lafayette. But today, she comes not only as the Commissioner of Administration, she comes as a friend of education. Would you join me in welcoming to the city of Natchitoches and to your school, Christy Nichols?
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Senator Long, for such a warm introduction. I'm honored to serve with Senator Long as we move state government forward in Baton Rouge and work to serve you, and so privileged to be here today. So thank you, Senator Long. I haven't seen Representative Terry Brown, but wanted to acknowledge him as well as Parish President Mr. Rick Allen, who I also had the opportunity to work with at Baton Rouge and have been so honored to do so since then as well. Executive Director Dr. Wyndham, thank you so much for having me, the Board of Trustees, faculty, staff, and students. Again, it is such an honor to be here today for you and your 2013 matriculation ceremony. I'm so privileged to be here and so happy for you as students and for those of you that are here as family members to share in the success of your students and your children as they move forward in this great journey. Congratulations to you, students. We're here to celebrate you, to honor you, and to welcome you into this next phase of your life, which I am sure that you will find is going to be a great journey for you. I have to admit that I've given a lot of speeches over the last 6 years as I've served Governor Jindal, and I've been proud to do so, but it was a little unnerving, I have to say, in terms of preparing for a speech full of high school students. I'm the parent of a freshman this year, and I turned to her in my nervousness and said, you know, what should I say? And she, of course, said, Mom, they're high school students. They won't be listening. how you came to where you are today. Maybe that will inspire them. And you know, I really thought that that's the only thing you can really do in a speech that you want to make meaningful for the people that are listening to you. So I thought that I would share a little bit about my experience in growing up in a gifted and talented system in Memphis, Tennessee, and tell you how much it touched my life and the lives of my family members. When I was first introduced to Dr. Wyndham at the Christmas Festival last year that I attended with Senator Long, he introduced himself to me and quickly said, you know, I know that you went to White Station High School in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was struck by the fact that he had even read my biography, much less noticed my high school, because that's a little untraditional. But, you know, it didn't really strike me as odd, because I knew when he said that, it was a connection that we shared. I knew and felt proud, as you will feel as you go on in your journeys in life, that I was a member of a club, and it was an esteemed club, and a club that could understand the value of education and the impact that a school like the school that you're joining today will have on your lives. I can honestly tell you that, as many of you will experience or have already experienced, education changed my life, and it will change the lives of many of you here today. I look back at my high school education and really even my elementary education, and look at it as the time that I understood that I was capable of anything, and that it wouldn't be my life experiences, it wouldn't be the experiences of my parents, it wouldn't be my socioeconomic status. It would be the journey that I would take on myself, that I was empowered to do with my school, that would carry me through. And I think that you will carry that same spirit as you leave this school when you graduate, and I want you to understand the relevance of this experience as you move through it today. I'm humbled to speak to you today, not because I feel that I myself am a success or that you should want to emulate my success or the success of Senator Long or any others, but I'm here today to tell you that I'm proud of the journey that I've been on. And I know that that journey for me started early on in a school that I'll tell you about a little bit later in the speech. But what I am proud about is the choices that I've made to get here and the fact that I persevered and moved through. And I want you to know that your success should be defined by what you want in life and what makes you proud, not by what definition society may give you or even that your parents may want for you. And I want you to learn in high school who you are and what you want to be. And I challenge you to define your success in the future by the beliefs that you carry with you from this experience. I truly believe that life can be very impactful and that you have moments in life that truly define who you're going to be. And also that the collection of the moments in your life and the decisions that you make, both today as students and as adults, make up the choices for your life and ultimately reflect who you are over your lifespan. I encourage you today to recognize that this is a moment of impact. Today is a moment that will always be with you for the rest of your life. As a child, my mother did for me what many of your parents are doing for you today. She worked very, very hard to get me into my first gifted and talented school when I was in 3rd grade. And I'll never forget, I remember vividly, you know, in my mind, and I really never corrected the story, so I'm not sure if it's fact or fiction, but in my mind, my mom waited in line for hours and hours to get me into the lottery, to get me into the gifted system in Tennessee. And I know that that was very meaningful for my mother. She had not had the chance to graduate from college. My grandparents, who I was closest to, had not finished even, my grandfather didn't finish elementary school. He went back to work on the farm when he was in 6th grade. So it was significant for my mother to accomplish getting me into 3rd grade. And when I experienced walking in the doors of my 3rd grade elementary school, I really did feel like something special was about to happen to me, even as a 3rd grader. And that really is a reflection that my mother and my grandparents recognized it as a special experience and pushed to get me to have that experience. And so I always recognized that my mother's perseverance had always had an impact in my life as it relates to education and my future. My mother depended heavily on my grandparents as I moved through school. My mother was a single mother. And my grandparents really celebrated my education, as many of your grandparents and family members do with you today. Some of my fondest memories were leaving school and going home with my grandparents as they cherished what I was learning in school and cherished the arts. I also had a teacher that was fundamental throughout my elementary education. She was my music teacher, and she taught me the fundamental principles of how much art and culture can truly motivate you to learn in other ways. She taught me how to play the guitar, she taught me how to play the xylophone, and she taught me how to sing. And I always cherished learning because I always got to experience the arts. as I move forward in my journey in education. So parents and family members here today, I want to congratulate you for the work that you've done with your families and with your children. Grandparents, I know that you've had a huge impact on the lives of your children here today, your grandchildren, and I'm so proud that you've done so, and thank you for that, and I know that your children thank you for that. Faculty members today, I know that you're a school that really is focused on the discipline of math and science, but I was so pleased to really read in your administration's 100-page strategic plan that was just thrilling to read. But that you have as much focus as a faculty and staff on the living experience that you will have here today and providing culture and arts to you. I mentioned to you the faculty member in my elementary school that impacted my life, and there were many, many more that impacted my experience as I progressed through high school. But what I want to say to the faculty that are here today is that, and certainly as you serve as surrogate families to the students that come here today to live with you, the real true impact that I remember from high school, even though it was a high school dedicated to learning, it was a high school that was absolutely concerned about the arts, and a school that really, really was the best of the best at the time. The thing that I remember is the experience. The experience of living in an environment where people loved learning, an experience where people loved creative arts, and an experience where the faculty and staff were devoted to me as a student. And that's really what carried with me throughout my life in terms of my recollection of my high school career, and really what made it a special time for me. So faculty and staff, thank you for your commitment to these students. And really, I want to thank you for the impact that you've had on the state of Louisiana. Students, I understand, as I mentioned before, and I hope that you consider yourselves, because Louisiana considers you to be the best and the brightest that the state has to offer. My high school, as I mentioned, was similar. We thought we were the best and brightest. Maybe not the elites that I see here today, but we certainly considered ourselves to be some of the top in our class and top in our state. However, we didn't have the opportunity to do something that you get to do today, which I'm very, very jealous about in retrospect, which is I still have to live with my parents. You get to live here in your school. But completing a high school like this, where you're considered the best that Louisiana has to offer, is something that truly will always be with you. Some may tell you, don't let it go to your head, but I disagree. I want you to own that title. I want you to let it become who you are. That self-confidence and pride will benefit you in college and throughout the rest of your professional life. And like my classmates and I always say and feel as we come together again after high school, we knew we were part of something special. And I want you to feel that in your heart. I'll be honest with you. I did struggle in school. I had to balance work, home, and school, just like many of you will. And sometimes it was tough. And sometimes I didn't feel like I was giving my best or had my best to give at school. But the school like yours served as a safety net for me. And it gave me the courage and desire to know that I could give it my all. And I still believe that I continue to give it my all today because of that experience. In terms of when I reflect on high school, I had a different experience than some of you may have in that my high school, we were very fortunate to have the School for the Deaf integrated into our talented schools. So we had the School for the Gifted and Talented and the School for the Deaf, which was also a performing arts school for the deaf, integrated into our school. And they were just tremendous. They put on tremendous performing arts ceremonies every year, and they really always outshined and beat us at everything that we did. But what it taught me was about diversity. And it taught me that not your race, not your ethnicity, not your physical disability defines you. In fact, they become assets that serve you for the rest of your life. I was interested in how diverse that the Louisiana school is. You may not know this, but this student population represents 80% of the parishes of the state of Louisiana. You come from parishes like Ascension, Bossier, Baton Rouge Parish, Livingston, Natchitoches, Terrebonne, and Rapides. And you represent different socioeconomic statuses across the state, heritages, and our representation of our good Louisiana Cajun community. One of the important values of being in this school is that you'll understand the diverse backgrounds that Louisiana has to offer, and you'll represent us as a state. In closing, I'd like to say that it has made me proud over the last 6 years to serve the general administration. Senator Long mentioned some of the accomplishments that we have made in terms of the school's funding, specifically for your education on an annual basis. And I'm proud to have been part of that, and I'm proud to see the students that I serve in being here today. We've been able to invest over $4 million over the last 5 years in improvements to the campus, and I'm committed to continuing to do so. But I do understand that there is still a need for an improvement to the campus that I assume will become very important to you as students, and that is a new dormitory. My Chief of Staff, Steve Procopio, tells me that when he was here in school, which had to be at least 20 years ago, he was in the same dormitory buildings that you will live in throughout your next year and some of the years you're here in school. He sometimes embellishes how old the dorms are by saying they were built in the Civil War era. I'm not really sure if that's true. But I am happy to announce here today that we are committed, the general administration is committed to working to secure funding for the planning and construction of a new dormitory facility for this school. And I don't want to pressure you students, but as you go back to your dorms and you look at the walls, you look at the bathrooms, you look at your desks, you look at the floor, and you dream of a better day, a better desk, a better bed, a better dorm.
Keep on dreaming.
That dream could come true, but it may in fact be dependent on your performance as a student body. So I'll be checking in at the end of the year as we finish the design phase. And if in fact you have performed, as I expect you will, we'll proceed with construction. So no pressure to you, I'm sure. Again, I want to thank the faculty and staff for having me here today. I want to thank Senator Long and Parish President Rick Mallon and all of the staff here, but I do want to send you off with this students who I really do care deeply about. Only as a fellow student and as a parent of a teenager, the number one thing that you need to do is have fun. Take risks. Don't be afraid to be what you can be. And walk out of the door of this high school knowing you gave it your all. And go into life and have fun. Forget about what you're going to do, what your profession is going to be, but what you want to study in college. Think about enjoying and taking in every bit of this experience, because you will not have it again, and it will be something important to you for the rest of your life. So thank you.